Welcome to the Wine Cage. I'm Dylan.
I'm Amanda.
And this is producer Wolfie. He's insisting on joining us tonight.
Hello, Wolfie.
Because he hasn't been fed yet. It's not actually his dinner time yet. So he's not being deprived at all.
He has to wait.
Yeah. While he waits, we are going to talk to you about the Ringbolt Cab Sav 2021 from Margaret River, produced by the Healsmith family vineyards. When we were shopping yesterday, I can't remember, I just craved a Cab Sav. We've had a bunch of Tempranieros recently, some European wines, a bunch of Shiraz, and something made me just crave the, middle ground simplicity of a straight Cab Sav. And so that's why we picked this up. Amanda's going to talk to us a bit about the label. I quite like the label on this one. It's kind of just elegant, simple, but it's got a bit of interest in the font and everything. But I am stepping out of my my domain here because this is really Amanda's. So before we talk about the nose and taste and give our rating on this, Amanda's going to talk a bit about the label. Just before we get to that though, this is another wine. It was, I think retail was $28 and we got it for $21 or something like that. So these are still pretty inexpensive. Just a little bit of a heads up that we will soon be reviewing an $80 wine. So something a bit higher than the usual price bracket. And it's, spoiler, but it's very good. So that's just something to look forward to. But for now, we're doing this Ringbolt Cab Sav. What do you reckon about the label on this one?
Well, I would like to preface this, as always, by saying this is just my personal opinion. So
I think we can safely sort of say that when you review the label, it's always
my personal opinion.
So. And the label stuff is always a bit tongue-in-cheek. Like, we often will just rip a label to shreds and then tell you that the wine's amazing. So just be aware of that.
Please always ignore what I say, or at least take it with a grain of salt, because it has no bearing at all on the taste. With that out of the way, I also really like this label. There's something that kind of reminds me of the 90s about it, and being an old millennial, I have a soft spot for anything that reminds me of the 90s. This reminds me specifically of graphic design that makes me think of like old CDs, or like even the covers of novels that I read back.
I thought you were going to say that the font reminded you of the movie Seven or something. You haven't seen Seven? Oh, that was a lost joke then. Press on.
I think I know what you're talking about, and I don't think it's the same font.
No, it definitely isn't.
Okay, we're getting hung up on weird shit here. So yeah, I like the label. It gives me the warm fuzzies. Yeah, as a side note to that, I think we've mentioned this on the show before, but I'm originally from Perth. I've visited the Margaret River wine region a couple of times. I love it there. We've taken a holiday there together and tasted many good wines there. It's a delight. And often the wines from there are quite good, but let's see where this one takes us.
Yeah, and on the label, so I really like it. I love the warm tone on the paper and on the font. It's a nice break from those stark white wine labels. And grey very rarely looks good or interesting, but this is a nice warm grey. And my only question with this is that there's a lot of dead space, and I guess that adds to the classiness or the elegance of it. But I do wonder why they didn't put this nice Ringbolt illustration that they've got on the lid, why they didn't, lift this up and put the illustration there. It would have just given me a picture to look at, and I think in pictures, so it would have made it slightly more interesting for me. Anyway, that's the packaging. We love it. We were attracted by it. That's why we bought it. Well, one of the reasons why we bought it. Let's see how it actually smells and tastes. So, look-wise, I don't have much to say about this. It seems where you'd expect a Cab Sav to be. It's not completely opaque. It's not transparent like a Pinot. It's something in between.
Yeah, it's got a nice deep blood red colour to it. No shades of magenta. It's quite, one might say, savoury looking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am seeing sort of a pinkish through the more transparent parts, but... I
mean, for a wine.
Yeah,
It's quite red. It's not too purple.
Anyway, that's the look. Let's see how this one smells. So I get a lovely nose on this one. It's spicy fruits. It's elegant and nothing offensive. There's nothing in the nose that makes you worried. There's no sharpness, no tartness. It's just that spicy sweet combo. It just seems classy and promising. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I would go so far as to say that it almost smells a little bit creamy.
That is a really good description. There's an extra note to this that I couldn't figure out how to describe it, and I think you've hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah, it's very smooth, it's quite delightful to smell.
Yeah, great nose. It's not super strong, so that's why I don't feel like I could bang on about the nose too much on this. It's sort of just classy, elegant, and fades away. So that's the look, that's the nose. Now let's see how it actually tastes. I feel like this one's just getting better and better as we drink it.
I agree.
Is it doing it for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to go first on the description?
Well, my first thoughts up front, it's quite punchy to me. It's got a strong flavour of fruitiness and almost smokiness to my palate.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think you're right. Once again, I think you've managed to find the element that I was struggling to find the words for. I thought that this was, once again, spicy, fruity up front with a decent punch, sweet and savoury. But that very quickly mellows down to a very smooth and very dry sort of middle ground, and then a woody and dusty finish. But yeah, there's a decent sort of woody taste in there. But I think that's where you're sort of injecting that idea of a smokiness. And you're right. I think that's the sort of secret sauce in this one, I think, is that smokiness. I don't think we've described a wine on the Wine Cage yet as smoky.
No, I think you're right.
As far as I remember. So, hats off to this one for bringing that element into one of these tastings. But otherwise, I think this one's restrained, smooth, elegant. Once again, it follows through with the promise of what you get on the nose, on the aroma for it. Have you got any other thoughts? You seem full of gold in this tasting and description, so I'd love to hear anything else you've got to say about it.
I've run out of gold.
Okay.
That's it. Sorry, the mine is empty.
Well, I think, Amanda hit the nail on the head with both those extra notes of the nose and the taste on this one. I don't know what I've done with the camera in this video, but the camera seems to be about 10 foot high, so we feel like we're talking into the security camera of a prison cell. So we're like this.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't come out looking like you're standing over us, but oh well, that's just how this one went. So all in all, I'm very happy with this purchase, especially at the price. Once again, a pretty low price point, discounted from 28 down to 20 or 21, something like that we got it for. Lovely presentation. The bottle looks great. It's exactly what I wanted from a Cab Sav tonight. We're going to be drinking this with a Japanese curry, and I think it'll go fine. It'll go well with that. So, yeah, really recommend this one. What would you give it out of 10?
I think it'd be a solid 8 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with an 8 as well. I toyed with an 8.5. The only reason I wouldn't say that is because it's, I don't know, a little simple for that. It doesn't have a big surprise factor, but this is a solid 8. A definite repurchase. I would buy this again. So we recommend the Ring Bolt. Definitely go out, pick up a bottle and give it a shot, especially if you're craving a Cab Sav like we are tonight. And I think producer Wolfie agrees he's not a drinker. He's strictly business. Thanks for joining us again on the Wine Cage, and we hope to see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good boy.
Good boy, Wolfie.